How to solve any type of reading comprehension. The trick is to visualize and get connected to the reading comprehension. Look, the biggest mistake often we do is we take it very lightly. We just go through the reading comprehension and we get straight to the questions. And when we start attempting the questions, we consider all the choices as similar. All the choices seem similar to us, and we end up attempting them in a wrong way. We end up getting negative marks. Okay, so this is the problem we often do. But if we visualize everything in the reading comprehension and get connected, if we get a feel of it, everything will go smooth like this. So I recommend you watch this video till the end, and I will share some tips and tricks by which you can solve any type of reading comprehension. Okay, so let's take an example of reading comprehension. The latest James Bond adventure is at number 1, Finding Nemo at number 12, and The Lord of the Rings at number 18. A chart of DVD sales or box office receipts? No, this is a British video games chart in March 2004, a vivid illustration of how the once separate worlds of movies and games have become increasingly intertwined. So in the first para, we will take it para by para of the reading comprehension, right? In the first para, the author is saying that the movie names like James Bond and Lord of the Rings are at number 12 and 18. So he's asking, is this some box office receipt or the DVD sales? But then he says no. These are the rankings of the video games. So he says that at one time there were separate words of movies and separate words of video games, but those two words have totally integrated and intertwined with each other. Whatever movies we get, most of the time we get the same type of games as well. Like we have the video games of James Bond and The Lord of the Rings. Film actors, even famous ones, now voice their characters in games. Animators, artists and model makers move freely between the two worlds. The same companies produce trailers both for games and for films. People in the booming games business are fond of pointing out that worldwide game sales at around $20 billion a year now exceed movie box office revenues. With every passing day, gaming seems less like Hollywood's poor relation. So, two or three things the author says in this paragraph, that the animators and artists move freely between the two words. Okay, so these are the two closely knit words for the artists. They can go wherever they want. Then it says the revenue of the games have exceeded the box office revenues. So the games are actually earning more than the movies. That's quite surprising. Then with every passing day, game seems less like Hollywood's poor relation. What does that mean? Hollywood's poor relation? Earlier there was poor relation between the Hollywood and the games. Like it was not necessarily that if you make the movies then a game has to be there. But now most of the times when there's a movie, especially a superhero type movie, there would be a game also. A game launch also is integrated with the movie. The convergence between films and games makes sense for many reasons. Both special effects laden blockbusters and shoot-up games rely on computer power, and as games consoles becomes more capable, their output becomes ever more cinematic. Indeed, modern games based on Star Wars look far better than the original films, since today's games consoles far outperform any special effects technology available back in the 1980s. Costs have increased as the production values of games have improved. The typical budget is now $5 million to $8 million. So it clearly says that most of the special effects are there in the games. So the special effects of games have actually outperformed the special effects in movies. Also, a lot of budget is being spent on the games, like $5 million to $8 million. So the author actually in the end wants to say that the games are actually outperforming the movies in every way, whether it be revenue, whether it be special effects. He has given an example that the special effects in Star Wars games is far better than the original Star Wars movie. Where tie-in games used to be an afterthought, They are now integrated into the filmmaking process from the start, says Robert Kotick, the boss of Hollywood-based Activision. The Activision is a very big gaming company. Studios used to regard game licenses like t-shirt licenses, he says, and only provide access to artwork late in the filmmaking process, but no longer. The author has been repeatedly putting the emphasis that these are not two separate worlds now, the movies and the games. The games are closely integrated with the movies. His firm had a dozen people inside the studios of DreamWorks working on the game of Shrek 2, an animated film released in May 2004. Another example being given by the author that the games are now being designed simultaneously with the movies. Now, before we move on to the questions, we see some tips and tricks by which you can solve any type of reading comprehension question. Right. The first tip is we need to ask ourselves, what is the tone of author? Is he positive or negative or neutral? So in this reading comprehension, we can say the tone of author is pretty much positive about the gaming industry. He says that the game is having some edge over the movie, so he's very much positive. He is in favor of the gaming actually. Next, what we need to ask, we need to make a conclusion in our mind about the reading comprehension. Make a conclusion. The conclusion is that the gaming are being preferred over the movies, right? The gaming industry is getting an edge over the movies. Then there is something we need to take some caution about. The caution is, do not make any assumption. Look, whatever the author has said, do not make any assumption beyond that. It is very important. Otherwise, you will end up committing some mistakes in the answers. What is author's viewpoint, you need to ask. The author's is of the view that the gaming industry is really growing up. Okay, it is getting more revenue. It is having better special effects. So he is of the view, the author is of the view that the gaming industry is having very bright future and is having some edge over the movies. Let's get to the question. The question is, film actors now voice their characters in games too. The author uses this word too. There are 4 choices for that. Now it is very important that how to solve these type of questions. An individual line is being given in this question and it is asked what does author mean about that. Okay, in the previous slide we have discussed that how to solve any type of reading comprehension, but what to do when a line is being given and the meaning is being asked. So the simplest way is to look back at your reading comprehension. You search out that line, you search out that line where it has appeared. Okay, you look out for the line which has come after and before it. So it is the first line of the para. Film actors, even famous ones, now voice their characters in games too. And after this line comes, animator, artists and model makers move freely between the two words. It means that all the artists are free to move between these two words. Now let us see what are the choices. The choices are, first option, bring home the clout gained by gaming in recent times. No, this is not meant by that para. Show how successful movies translate into popular games. No, even that is there. Third point, demonstrate the demand for authenticity of players of video games. No, that is not there. Exemplify how movies and games now overlap each other. So it is said in the para that the artist can freely move into both the two words. So it exemplifies how movies and games now overlap each other. It shows how they have merged into each other. So that is the right option. Next question, which of the following can be understood from the passage? First point, games can now help in increasing the popularity of movies. Now that is what I have previously told you, to draw some conclusion about the passage. What does author actually want to say in that? First point, games now help in increasing the popularity of movies. No, it has never been said in the para. Do not assume this. Okay, even though games are earning more, do not assume this, that they are increasing the popularity of movies. It has never been said in this reading comprehension. Then comes movies and games share ideas, artists, advertisers and production centers. Now that is true, right? They are sharing the artists. As we have seen in the previous question also, artists can freely move between these two words. Then the third option, games can now make almost as much as films in monetary terms. No, Then the third point is, actually it has been said that the games earn more. Okay, the fourth point is technology often helps games to outshine their inspiration. That is what the author has been saying in the entire reading comprehension, that the games are outshining the inspiration. So the choices B and D are true. So these are the two options. So the option A is true, which is B and D, right? Then comes the third question, the passage. There are four options. So it all also talks about the viewpoint of the author, which we have previously discussed. It is very important that we understand what is the author of the view. So the first option is A, is a comparison between movies and games in terms of popularity and impact. Okay, no, it is not actually drawing the comparison. It is showing the advantage of games. Okay, the second is an indirect warning to the movie industry to pull up its socks. There is no warning in the passage. The passage is very much positive. It points to the increasing sophistication and growing importance of games business. That is what the author has been saying throughout the passage. He is only concerned about the growing importance of the business. The fourth option describes the symbiotic relationship between the movie and games industry. Not really. Okay, he has been thoroughly pointing to the importance of the gaming industry and the growing importance actually. So this is how we solve the questions of any reading comprehension. In the next video, we will see more important videos on verbal ability. For that, I recommend you to see the videos appearing over this. Also, in order to get such useful videos, I strongly recommend you to subscribe to our channel. In case you like our effort in making this video, then please smash a like. Also, your feedback is an important thing that we want, so please comment whatever you like or dislike about the video, or whatever more you would like us to incorporate in the videos, or whatever type of videos you want us to like for you. Please comment. Thank you.